What's up, everybody? My name is Paul. Welcome back to the channel, because for today, we are going to provide you with our latest results and monthly report of our trade alerts provided within our free VIP group for the month of January 2025. These are signals that members can copy and profit from our personal gold trades. If you've been following our journey for the past few months, we ended the year of 2024 on a strong and profitable note. And needless to say, folks, we've done it once again for the first month of the new year 2025. We provide the signals. All you have to do is copy those trades into your broker and collect your profits. Now, unlike most signal providing services out there who provide a generic report of their results in formats such as this, which, to be honest, folks, anybody can write whatever numbers they want to boost their numbers. But for our monthly reports, we like to do things a little bit differently. Yes, we are going to show you a similar generic report, but in addition, to add a little bit more transparency, we're going to go through every trade that we called out throughout the month of January 2025, as well as go through the charts so you can see for yourself when and where these trades were called out, and thereby verify the performance and value of the signals we provide for our members. Now, I'm also excited to share a recent partnership between my brand, Project Wealth, and our colleagues at Pip Logic, where we provide a wide variety of benefits, including various trade alerts that you'll be able to copy and profit from throughout the day or evening, a private members area so you can interact with other traders and ask questions, video tutorials, trading education, live trading sessions, and much more. Because of our partnership, we're able to provide signals virtually 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So regardless of where you live, you'll have access to signals that you can copy and profit from, giving everyone access to double the trade alerts, double the profits, and more importantly, double the value. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, and I'll say it again, 100% free. This is something virtually no other signal providing services out there provide, so take advantage of this powerful combo. And of course, if you want to learn more about our VIP and how to get started, you can visit our website or click the link down below, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside of our VIP. All right, folks, welcome to our monthly report. As you can see, we have the tally trades that we have taken for the month of January 2025, broken down into the 4 weeks of the month. And as you can see, we have everything listed in terms of all of our wins, our losses, the total amount of winning pips for each week, with the subtraction of any losses that were incurred, which of course, we're not perfect. We do have some losses, but as you can see, and as you will see, we are very consistent in not only having our wins outnumber our losses, but more importantly, the amount of pips that we capitalize in profits far exceed the losses that we sustained. And feel free to do the math. On the first week, between the 1st and the 10th of January, we capitalized over 8,300 pips. All right, that's including the subtraction of 410 pips from our losses. The 13th through the 17th, over 10,000 pips in profit. Third week, over 1,800 pips. And in the fourth and final week, over 1,100 pips. Now, it's no surprise that January can be a relatively slow month, but nevertheless, we came out on top with over 23,000 pips in profit, with a minor 1,070 pips from our losses, giving us a grand total for the month of January 2025 of 21,984 pips in profit, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, that is including the minor 1,000 pips subtracted from the total. Now, for those of you who are new to the concept of pips and how this translates into a dollar value for you in terms of profits accumulated in your trading account, if you were trading with a small micro lot size of 0.10, that's 10 cents per pip. So at 21,000 pips, that's over $2,100 in profit. At a 0.5 lot, that's 50 cents per pip. So you're looking at just under $11,000 in profit. At 0.10, that's $1 per pip. That's $21,984 profit. And for those with a little bit larger account size, trading at a standard one lot size, that's $10 per pip. So when you calculate $10 per pip per the total tally of the profits that we delivered, that's a six-figure equivalent of over $219,000, all by copying and pasting from our trades. Now, we could just stop there and say, hey, yay, look what we did and look how awesome we are. No, we're going to take it a step further, because obviously we want to be as transparent as possible gold. So now we're going to hop into the charts and go through every trade we've called out and thereby validate our entries and, more importantly, the value that we deliver for our members. Starting off on the 2nd of January 2025, this was our first trading day of the month. We sent out a signal to sell gold between 26.47 and 26.49 at around 9:20 a.m. Here is our entry, which, as you can see, our first take profit level was set at 2643. Price came close at 2645, but then reversed for a loss of minus 60 pips. Next is a buy for Bitcoin at 97,230, which, as you can see, take profits 1 through 4 were hit for over 3,400 pips. Back to gold, we have a sell at 2660, a little bit of drawdown until finally price dropped down, hitting all take profits 1 through 5 for 250 pips. On the 3rd, we started the day off with a pending order, looking to buy gold between 2640 and 2637, and we suggested to set this as a buy limit, which is a pending order. And as you can see, based off the notes and the chart, our buy limit at 2637 activated a few hours later, right over here. Price reached 2647, just short of TP2 for a total of 100 pips. We had a small buy here at 2644 for a small gain of 20 pips. Next, we had a buy for gold at 2641 just before 1900. Our entry was here at 2641. So in the midst of the activation of our pending order from earlier, we entered for a buy here. As you can see, price reached 2647 right up in here, hitting TP1 for 60 pips. A buy for gold at 2644 right up in here for a small gain of 40 pips. Buy for gold at 2641 here, which, as you can see, resulted in a loss. Price continued to come down even further. Taking a hit on that last trade, we went for another scalp buy position at 2623. Here is our entry, and as you can see from this point, price rallied up, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 340 pips. Another buy for Bitcoin at around 101,200. There's our entry, which, as you can see, based off of the charts and our notes, take profits 1 through 2 were hit for 1,400 pips. Another buy for gold at 2630, right around this region. Again, because of this rally, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 350 pips. Another buy for gold at 2638. Here's our entry. A little bit of drawdown, but because of this nice rally, that's another gain of 320 pips. All take profits 1 through 5 were hit. A couple hours later, we did another buy at around the 263 to 2634. Here's our entry right around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 1400 GMT, where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 260 pips. We did a buy for GBP USD at 1.2559, which resulted in a loss from minus 60 pips. A buy for AUD NZD at 1.1056 for a minor gain, hitting TP1 of 34 pips. Next, we attempted a sell for gold in this region. Unfortunately, price continued even further, hitting our stop loss for a small loss of 40 pips. But then we sent out a sell limit for gold between 2663 and 2665. Price peaked out within that range, activating our sell order before the drop, hitting take profits 1 through 5 for a total of 200 pips. Now, within this area, as price consolidated, I'll just zoom in a little bit. As price dropped down to this level, we did a scalp buy at 2658. Hit and take profit 1 right up in here for a small gain of 50 pips. A sell at 2649, which resulted in a loss for minus 70 pips. Next day, we called out a buy for gold at 2651. Here's our entry. And as you can see, price rallied, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 240 pips. We also sent out a buy limit in case price came down even further at 2645. Here was our entry right here. So we had this nice wick that activated our trade, resulting in a sniper entry, rallying up, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 250 pips. We did a sell at 2663. As you can see, price came close to our stop loss, but didn't hit, reversing back down, hit and take profits 1 through 3 for 140 pips. Next, we have a buy for Bitcoin at 94,890. This was an interesting setup because the trade didn't work out in our favor. However, we did send out an update to bring our stop loss to break even or into profit at the time that our trade was floating around 200 pips in profit. So even though it was technically a losing trade, we announced everyone to at least break even or close in profit, which resulted in a minor profit gain, considering that with Bitcoin, we can usually capitalize at least a couple thousand in profit. Coming back to gold, we sent out a swing trade alert for an entry at 2658. Here's our entry, where take profits 1 through 5 were hit for a whopping 370 pips. A buy for gold at 2666 and 2664. Here's our entry. Take profits 1 through 3 were hit for 110 pips. And in the midst of that peak, we also sent out a sell limit. So while this buy trade was active, we sent out a sell limit to enter for a sell between 2674 and 2678, which was right here at the peak where we capitalized 110 pips from our buy trade earlier. As you can see, price dropped, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for an additional 150 pips. I also sent out this image to show why we decided to put a sell limit, because price was approaching a descending trend line from a higher time frame. So because of this setup, we were able to basically corner the market by initiating a buy here in this low region, and when price approached our descending trend line, as we showed you from the chart, we set our sell limit, which also activated for an additional profit. Next day, we had a buy for gold at 2678. Here was our entry, which, as you can see, price would go into drawdown, come back and hit our entry, and at times go a little bit in profit. I wasn't liking the price action, so we announced everyone to bring their stop loss to break even, or at least into profit when it spiked up. And it was a good thing that we did, because as you can see, price continued downward. So needless to say, we were able to avoid a loss from that trade. Next, we had a sell for gold at 2687. Here's our entry, which resulted in a loss for minus 80 pips. A buy at around 2694, hit and take profit 1 for 30 pips. And then we also had a buy at 2688. Our entry was around this region, hit and take profit 1 for 90 pips. Next, we sent out a sell limit for gold at 2692 and 2695, which, as you can see, activated here at 2692. We had a little bit of consolidation before a beautiful drop, resulting in take profits 1 through 5 hit for 330 pips. Here we did a buy between 2665 and 2668. As you can see from the chart and our notes, from our 2665 entry, price reached 2674, right up in here, just short of TP2, hidden take profit 1 for 90 pips. All right, so this buy order was sent at 7:30 in the morning. So as you can see, the times align. Shortly after that, we sent out a sell limit order, suggesting that we could see further downside. So in preparation of the downside, we sent out a sell limit for gold at 2670 and 2673. So, all right. So this was sent out just before 8 o'clock. About a couple of hours later, price came up here to 2674. So this is actually incorrect. It activated during a New York session. And then, as you can see, price came down to the very bottom at 2656. So 2656, this ended up hitting take profits 1 through 3 for over 180 pips. So this calculation is actually incorrect. It wasn't 130 pips, it was 180 pips. So we had a sell for AUD USD, which, as you can see, resulted in a loss for minus 70 pips. Next, we had a buy for gold at 2670. I wasn't liking the price action for this buy, so I sent out an announcement that we were closing our trade at a minor 30 pip loss. And it was a good thing we did, because price continued to go downward. We called out another sell between 2668 and 2670. Here's our entry. Price came down, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 120 pips. Next, we did another sell for gold at 2664 and 2667. Here's our entry, which resulted in a loss. Another sell for gold between 2668 and 2670, which, as you can see from the chart and the updates from our 2670 entry, price dropped down to 2659, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 110 pips right down here. But while price was consolidated, we sent out another sell between 2668 and 2670. It's pretty much the same call from our previous sell, but just taken at a different time. Here's our entry, which resulted in another 110 pips profit, a sell for Euro JPY, which resulted in a loss. Coming back to gold in this region as prices consolidated. As you can see, guys, we took advantage of all of this price action. As price continued to hit these regions, we capitalized on multiple positions, yet again taking another sell, 2671 and 2673. Price wicked up to 2673 and then came back down, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 140 pips, and then another sell between 2663 and 2666. Here's our entry, where take profit 1 was hit for a minor 60 pip gain. Another sell here at 2670, hit and take profit 1 in this region for 40 pips. And then we went back to Bitcoin for a buy. That's supposed to say buy, not but for a buy at 96,624, which, as you can see, take profits 1 through 4 were hit for over 4,300 pips. Now that afternoon, we came back to gold when we called out a sell limit between 2678 and 2680, which, as you can see based off of the chart and our notes, the limit order was activated about 40 minutes later, dropping down to the 2669 price right down here, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 90 pips. But after that sell limit, which again activated later on, we also called out for a buy at 2675, which was our entry right over here. As you can see, as price rallied, we had that retracement, so it activated our previous sell limit order for a nice profit of 90 pips. But then this rally took our buy entry, hidden take profits 1 through 5 for 250 pips. Here we did a sell at 2688 and 2691. Here's our entry. Price came down here. Hidden take profits 1 and 2 for 60 pips. A sell limit at 2698, which, as we will see when we go through the charts, activated a few hours later right over here, 2698. Price came down to 2690. Hidden take profits 1 and 2 for 80 pips. We did a buy here at 2688, which, as you can see, hit our stop loss for a loss of 60 pips. But to make up for it, we had a buy at we called out a buy at 2679. Here's our entry at 2679, which, as you can see, because of the rally, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 260 pips. We did attempt a scalp sell in this minor area of resistance, which resulted in a loss for a minor loss, followed by a buy between 2703 and 2701. Here's our entry at 2701. Take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 230 pips. A sell between 2717 and 2720. Price came down here, hidden take profit 1 for 60 pips. And then we called out a sell limit, which activated a little bit later, shortly after, between 2723 and 2725. Here's our entry for a beautiful sniper entry. As you can see, guys, once price hit our target, it dropped down, hidden take profits 1 through 5 for 270 pips. Now, we did call out another sell limit for gold between 2720 and 2723, but we canceled it because, as you can see, price did not come back to hit that level, so that entry is voided. And then we went back to Bitcoin for a buy at around 100,000, which, as you could see, take profits 1 through 4 were hit for an additional 4,000 pips. Coming back to gold, we did a sell between 2711 and 2713. Here's our entry, where, as you can see, price hit down to this region, retraced for a little bit of drawdown, going back to our predicted direction, hidden take profits 1 through 5 for a total of 210 pips. All right, now while this trade was active, we did another sell at a higher level at 2715. Here's our entry. Take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 250 pips. And then we did another sell for gold between 2703 and 2706. Here's our entry. As you can see, very, very choppy. Only came down as far as 2702. So we sent out a notice to bring your stop loss to break even or slightly into profits to avoid a loss, for the fact that a new level of support was created. And it was a good thing we did, because, as you can see, price just consolidated and then rallied even further. But before the rally, we took advantage of a couple more sell positions at higher levels. We did a sell between 2710 and 2713, and another sell at 2709. So here's our entry for the first trade and our entry for the second entry at 2709, which, as you can see, based off the charts, take profits 1 and 2 were hit for the first trade for 100 pips. Take profit 1 was hit for 70 pips on our second trade. Next day, we did a buy at 2720. Here's our entry. Take profit 1 through 5 were hit for 250 pips. And then shortly after that, we did another buy between 2723 and 2720. Again, just like our first trade, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 220 pips. We did sell for gold here between 2749 and 2751, which resulted in a loss. And we thought price was going to continue even further, so we just called out another buy between 2759 and 2756. Here was our entry for that buy, which didn't work out well. About an hour later, we attempted another buy at 2757 with take profit set at a much lower area at 2761, which, as you can see, was hit for 40 pips profit. Then we did a buy limit at a lower rate at 2754. That trade was activated in this region here. Hidden take profits 1 and 2 for 70 pips. A sell for GBP USD at 1.2353. Hidden take profits 1 and 2 for 60 pips. And then coming back to gold, we did another buy at 2757. Again, because of this range, it only hit take profit 1 for 40 pips. Followed by one more buy attempt for gold between 2751 and 2749. We had entries here and here, which, as you can see, price came up to this point. Hidden take profits 1 through 3 for 90 pips. Next, we had a sell for gold between 2751 and 2753. Here's our entry, which price dropped. Hidden take profits 1 through 4 for 180 pips. A buy for gold at 2742 and 2740. Here's our entry right over here. I did send out a notice that price was still dropping. So as you can see from our entry, all right, we had a pretty big bearish candle. So I sent out this notice that price was dropping from our entry, but hoping it reverses before hitting our stop loss at 2735. So we gave people the choice to either bring their stop loss to break even when price pops, or at least hold to let the trade play out. And congratulations to those who held, because as you can see, although we had a little bit of drawdown, price reversed as predicted, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 200 pips. Now, in the midst of this rally from this winning trade, we did attempt a sell for gold right here in this region. This was more of a scalp entry. So the scalp between 2742 and 2745. So here's our entry right around this region. So price did drop just enough to hit take profit 1 for 50 pips. And then we also sent out a notice for a potential pending order for a buy limit. So I attached this image. Price was in this region and we had a bit of an imbalance that we expected price could fill for a potential buy setup. So because of that possibility, we sent out a buy limit in that region, and you'll see later on as we go through the charts that, and based off of our notes, that limit order was activated for a gap fill the following Monday, which eventually hit take profits 1 through 5 for 200 pips. So we'll show you that in the chart once we get to that point. But moving forward, we did a buy between 2752 and 2750. Here's our entry at 2750 at 2752. Again, because of that rally, take profits 1 through 5 were hit for 210 pips. A buy here for gold at 2775, where take profits 1 and 2 were hit for 110 pips. We called the sell limit for gold at 2788 and 2790. Unfortunately, price never dropped to those levels, so we canceled that order. Next was the sell for gold at 2777, which, as you can see, here's our entry where TP1 was hit for a minor gain of 20 pips. We sent out this notice that price had been floating around entry, so make sure you brought your stop loss to break even or into profit. And it was a good thing we did, because we were only able to get out 20 pips from that trade, which, hey, that's still profit in our pocket. A buy order for gold at 2781. This was a scalp entry. Here's our point of interest right here. Hit and take profit 1 for a gain of 30 pips. And then we went for another buy for gold at 2775 when price came down right here to this level, peaked right up here again at around 2786. Hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 110 pips. Then we had another buy for gold at 2767. Here's our entry for a small gain of 30 pips. Next, we had a sell for gold at 2760 and 2763. Here's our entry. Price came down to 2747. Just short of take profit 4, hit and take profits 1 through 3 for 130 pips. Price came up, wicked to this level where we set for a sell between 2765 and 2767. So here's our entry right here, 2765. Price dipped for a little bit, hit and take profit 1 and 2 for 50 pips. And then we had a beautiful sell entry here in this region at 2770, which, as you can see, based off the notes and the chart, price dropped down, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 260 pips. A buy for gold at 2740. Here's our entry, 2740, which, as you can see, based off of our notes and the chart, we had some major drawdown. So while this trade was in drawdown, we did another potential buy area for gold at a lower rate of 2736 and 2733. Right here is our entry, which, again, just like our previous trade, we were in drawdown for a little bit, but because of that drawdown, not only did it not hit our stop loss before the rally, hit and take profits 1 through 5 for an additional 270 pips, but this is where it also hit our pending order that we were talking about earlier, activated our buy limit that we had set on the 23rd. On the 28th, we attempted for a sell in this region of the market at between 2755 and 2757. Here's our entry at around 2756. Price came down to this little wick area at 2751, hit and take profit, 1 for a little over 40 pips. And then we did some sells and sell limits. So we sent out a sell limit if price hit 2765, and we also did a sell at current price between 2762 and 2764. So this trade activated here, which as you could see, a lot of consolidation until finally hit and take profits, 1 through 4 down at this level for 200 pips. But our sell limit was activated at 2765 when price came up to this region. And again, because of this rally to the downside, take profits 1 through 4 were hit for an additional 210 pips. On the 29th, we called out a buy limit for gold between 2755 and 2753. And we also sent out a sell for market order, so an immediate entry at 2757. So this was a scalp entry for a sell right over here, which as you can see, take profits 1 through 4 were hit down here for 120 pips. And our buy limit that we called out at 2755 and 2753, that activated right here in this region, which as you could see, and based off of the notes, price reached 2761, hit and take profit 1 for 70 pips before reversing. We did a sell for gold at 2753. Here's our entry. Price dropped to 2744, hit and take profit 1 for over 80 pips. And then we also did a sell limit for gold at 2756, which activated at this peak or this little wick, came down again to that 2744 level, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 110 pips. We sent out a notice that we had FOMC news within the next 45 minutes, so we were to expect some volatility. So it was important that we made sure we secured our profits. And then on the next day, we sent out a sell for gold at 2780. Here's our entry, which resulted in a loss. A buy limit for gold at 2781 and 2779, which activated here. And as you can see, based off our notes, the order activated 10 minutes later, hit and take profits 1 through 5 as price rallied for 200 pips. Now, we also sent out this notice that price was approaching a previous all-time high at 2790. So I was expecting some resistance for a possible sell limit between 2790 and 2793. Unfortunately, price activated right here and blew right through it. So we ended up losing that trade. But then we attempted another sell from higher values at 2795 and 2797. Here's our entry. From the 2797 entry, price reached 2788 right over here. Hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 90 pips. A buy for gold between 2795 and 2793. Here's our entry at around 2794. And as you can see from the charts in our notes, price rallied up to 2817. Hit and take profits 1 through 4 for 240 pips. And then finally, on the last day of January, we did a buy for gold between 2792 and 2790. Beautiful entry with no drawdown, sniper entry for hit and take profits 1 through 5 for 230 pips. We attempted 2 sells here and here between 2800 and 2802 and a 2806. Our first sell entry here resulted in a loss, but our second entry here at 2806 came down to hit take profit 1 for 30 pips. And then our last trade for the month, we did a buy for gold between 2810 and 2808. Here's our entry. As you can see, a little bit of drawdown, price spiked up to the 2816, hit and take profits 1 and 2 for 80 pips. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all of the trades that we called out for the month, giving us a grand total gain, including the losses that we sustained, of over 21,984 pips profit, all by copying and pasting the trades that we send out to you. If you want to learn more about our free VIP room, visit our website or click the link down below, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside of our community.